Love, light, and blessings. Shamanic Awak Priestess here. Happy 15th, day 15, and I'm doing day 16. I didn't get to do it yesterday. It was just too hectic yesterday. I didn't have any time to squeeze in a video, pre-record anything. So this one's going to be day 15, and then I'm going to make a separate video. So I'm most likely going to be wearing the same clothes. And that's going to be day 16. So today I'm going to have two videos on my channel, and you guys can watch that. And I'll make sure to put these videos on my February list of Black History Month. So for day 15, I'm changing it up a bit, and I'm talking about a group of people instead of an individual person. And these group of people were established on July 10th, 1964. And it was a group of African-American males, African-American men in Jonesboro, Louisiana. And it was led by Forrest, or AKA Chilly Willie, Thomas and Frederick Douglass, Kirkpatrick, were the original founders of this group. And the group's name was the Deacons for Defense and Justice. And they literally were that. They were part of the Black church, and they were deacons in their churches. They protected the Congress of Racial Equality against the KKK, because at this time the KKK was completely active. 1930s, 1950s, and 1960s. And it was very heinous, the crimes in Louisiana. Each of the deacons were veterans from the World War II and Korean War, and things of that nature. They organized in Bogalusa, Louisiana. And the group was led by Charles Sims in the Bogalusa, Louisiana, was the second group, and Young and Robert Hicks. Then there was later on, so they had a first chapter in Jonesboro, then a second chapter in Bogalusa, and then the third chapter was formed. They really helped to minimize the attacks of the KKK. They also forced the federal government to intervene on their behalf. They believed, they respected Martin Luther King and his nonviolent resistance. However, with their situation in Louisiana and how heavy and dangerous it was there, they had a different approach. And their approach was they chose to use their Second Amendment rights, which is the right to bear arms, and they started carrying rifles, and only using if they needed to pretty much have dignity, to be seen as men, and to protect the rights of people to protest, to have their marches, and things of that nature. So they formed their own militia, and they really did help neutralize the KKK. They believed in protecting Black people, when they were voting. And they also protected both Black and white civil rights activists, because there were white people that did march along with Martin Luther King, Bernie Sanders being an example. There were white people that did march for civil rights, as well as Black people, of course. So they protected both Black and white activists. In 1966, they protected the marchers in the March Against Fear from Memphis to Jacksonville, Mississippi. There was a time that the FBI did investigate the Deacons for Defense and Justice. However, their attention turned when they started the rising of the Black Panthers came about in 1965. So their attention shifted. By 1968, the Deacons for Justice disbanded, and for a long time they've been lost in history. There's a movie that's actually based on this group. If you guys want to know the title of it, I can look it up for you, because I saw it the other day. I actually saw the movie and then did research outside of the movie, and things like that. So I was like, wow. So this was a real group and things like that. So anyways, yeah, so like I said, they've long been forgotten in history. Somebody made a movie about them, I think in the 2003, 2010. And again, I've never even seen this movie until it was like a suggestion because it's Black History Month. And then I did research. So I was really happy that the spirits brought their story to me because I feel like this is, everybody talks about the nonviolence resistance, which I greatly respect, and about Dr. King, which I also very greatly respect. But there were also other people that used their Second Amendment rights. There was also other people like Malcolm X that wanted to free his people as well, and he had a different means. They believed like by any means possible. Sometimes there is a space people have to fight back, and that can get physical. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? So I mean, with the Civil Rights War that did end slavery. So sometimes there are wars that sometimes we have to go into war, sometimes we have to bear arms, sometimes we have to be willing to do what it takes to survive. So I can see both sides, and I feel like I want to bring light to both sides because all these people contributed to Black history. This group of people helped to ensure that Black people were able to vote, which is a God-given right, okay, as an American citizen of the United States of America, and the safety and the dignity, because around this time, there were people still being lynched. There was laws in the South, crazy laws in the South that you had to say yes, sir, yes, ma'am, to a person who was white. And you couldn't look at them in the face, and they weren't getting paid equal wages. They weren't allowed to be promoted. They were heavily still segregated and things like that. So they did in their own right contribute to Black history, and these were all, and the reason I'm including them to people that have contributed to Black spirituality, these were all Black Christian men. These were Christians. They prayed over everything they did, and they believed that God was showing them the way, that God was protecting them in their fight for civil rights, because God did not believe in slavery. God did not want his people to be enslaved, and God wanted his people to fight back against oppression. So these were also spiritual people, and I am including Christianity in contributions of spirituality, because when it comes to brown people, Christianity is a very important part of spirituality, and things like that. So I'm going to do another video about that and what I mean by that in detail this month. It's already scheduled because I have every video that I've been doing, it's on an actual schedule of when I want to either download it or record it and things like that. So there's a process to my madness. But thank you so much for watching this video, guys. And until the next video, which I'm going to be recording shortly, which is going to talk about a very cool conjurer that I was lucky enough to discover during my research. So I want to share her story with you guys as well. Bye, guys.